Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Cut by Led Zeppelin. Maybe some will argue and say it's a hit. Problems, baby. Lack of communication. Maybe it applies in your life. Maybe it applies in your business. It certainly applies to the Jaguars defense, and that is exactly what Anthony Campanelli said earlier this morning at the Miller Electric Center. Communication and the breakdown there. Still reeling after that lifeless effort by the first-team defense on Saturday night. And, Campanelli didn't look, in my opinion, overly concerned, feeling that it is fixable. And, yes, things have been somewhat vanilla. How much will they show this weekend in New Orleans? I think we'll find out on Thursday from Liam Cohen as to just how much starters are going to play. If he does tell us. He doesn't have to, right? They have an off day tomorrow. And then a scrimmage that is going to be set, a situational type of scrimmage on Thursday in full pads. They were in full pads a little bit earlier today. So, that was one of the highlights of an interesting day. Day 14 at the Miller Electric Center, a day that gave us our first fight. Okay, there's been a couple of skirmishes, but this was punches being thrown. And Allen, he's been a terror since day one. I mean, I love this guy. I love his fight. I love his attitude. I love his determination. He's a 7th-round pick. He's 4th right now on that running back roster, but he's lowered the shoulder. He has delivered the punch throughout camp, and today finally getting after it with Branson Combs, ladies and gentlemen, all right, on the receiving end. So they went after it a little bit earlier. I did catch up with Allen Jr. after practice today. We're going to play that interview for you coming up a little bit later on in the program. And, he answered it with a smile on his face. I will tell you that. It was as if when we're on the field, we're competing. When the play is over, we're buddies again. We're teammates. But it's been one thing after another for Laquentin Allen. And frankly, this football team needs some of that, right? They need some nasty. We talked about it again yesterday on the offensive line with Wyatt Milam, who I believe when it's all said and done is hopefully really one of the major components of this offensive line moving forward. I don't know how much that's going to transpire this year. You hope it really doesn't at all, because you hope the veterans on this football team are able to play well and stay healthy. But I would think as early as 2026, Milam's going to be a big part of this. You need a little bit more of it. At least that is my opinion. All right, kind of a crazy day. For starters, Brian Thomas Jr. went down again. And he exited, he visited with trainers, and then he did come back to the sideline, but he did not participate. I watched him catch one ball earlier today, might have caught another ball. They were working way out on the back part of the field that is most away from the media. But, that is an ongoing story. Yesterday, a dropped ball. Yesterday, a ball that ended up being an interception during group work. A very frustrated Brian Thomas Jr., fired his helmet, had a conversation with Edgar Bennett. This is something that is certainly a work in progress. I happen to believe, in my own opinion, that they're going to be okay here, because Brian Thomas Jr. is such a good football player. My only reservation is thinking of last year, Mac Jones, all the targets that Mac Jones had to Brian Thomas Jr., and he wasn't nearly as targeted earlier in the year with Trevor Lawrence. You look at a guy like Parker Washington, just another incredible practice today. I mean, Parker Washington, I think it would be fair to say that he has absolutely been the most consistent wide receiver. He's in the running for the best, and he's made some spectacular grabs. His route tree is very lengthy. He does all sorts of different things from all of the wide receiver positions. Again, he learned that trade a year ago as the primary backup for the starting three. Travis Hunter, has been sensational. By the way, for Hunter, defense today, all 30 plays, 11 on 11. That was fun to watch. Him going against Thomas Jr., him going against Brown, him going against Washington. He was flagged for a pass interference, got a jersey full. Debatable call. I don't think he overdid it. But he got beat, and he has great makeup speed. Man, there's no question about that with Travis Hunter. But with Tyson Campbell missing a second consecutive day with an undisclosed injury, we did get the benefit of watching Hunter today playing on the defensive side. But yeah, with Parker Washington, you can make that case that he has been not only the most consistent wide receiver, but arguably the best wide receiver. Diami Brown's had a very good camp. First couple of practices, a little slow, but then he really came on. He had a big drop today. Strange had a drop today. And, we're getting more and more of that. Eric Armstead. Today was intriguing because it felt like he was doing more. He was moving. He was rehabilitating. He's done an awful lot of standing around. And today was a good day as far as my eye test is concerned. I don't know what else to say after that. I'm not going to tell you he's going to be back practicing with the team in a week, that he's going to be ready for opening day against Carolina. I don't feel comfortable about any of that. I have maintained that Mason Smith, to me, looks like he's close. And that's based on what I'm watching him do on the sideline, right? Today was the first really pretty good feeling I got on Eric Armstead. So, take that for what it's worth. Also, the return today of Anton Harrison, who, of course, missed yesterday with a personal day. Harrison back at it, both individually and working during team drills. So we got a lot to do over the next couple of hours. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun as we get things rolling right here on a Tuesday edition. We will talk with Gerald Ingram. Of course, he coached here under Tom Coughlin for quite some time. I was talking with Gerald the other day. This is probably 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And was talking to him about, as a Boston College running backs coach, him being on the field at Notre Dame the week after I was there for the game of the century, which, of course, was Notre Dame and Florida State. Notre Dame a winner during that particular Saturday, 31-24. And lo and behold, a week later, Tom Coughlin in BC goes to Notre Dame and knocks off the Fighting Irish. I was talking to Ingram about that. He was with BC from 91 through 93, then came over here for a year without football. Remember, Coughlin started to put together his staff in 1994, where the franchise did not begin until 1995. And he was a running backs coach here for quite some time. Then took some time off, or actually took the 1 year off while working here in Jacksonville. Then the franchise began, took it all the way through 2003, and then went with Tom Coughlin to New York, where he was a part of a couple of Super Bowl rings as the running backs coach. So this guy's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to football. I enjoyed watching it with him a little bit earlier today as well. He's going to be our first guest. We'll get his feedback on what he has seen so far with the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, Shmunez Vision. They start things for us as they do each and every night. Do want to welcome them aboard and want to remind you that, school's underway. I mean, that was obvious today with the traffic. I mean, I was trying to get out of Bartram Springs this morning to Jaguars practice. I had to wait for 4 light changes getting out of my complex, okay? So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy right now. Then, Racetrack Road, Phillips Highway, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's got to be another route. I got to find another way out of there. But anyway, I can see well, and hopefully you can as well. But kids are going back to school, right? What if your kids are squinting? What if your kids can't see, the blackboard? Then they probably, depending on how old they are, they may not be able to tell you. Right? But it's certainly something that you should do, is make sure that their prescription is updated and you can get the very latest over at Shmunez Vision. And then it comes to those who are a little bit older, right? Possibly a candidate for laser eye surgery. How about that? 20/20 for the rest of your days, never fumbling around for your readers or, falling asleep with your contacts in. You're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. Check them out. Just go to Shmunez Vision online, and as well, you can get the very latest by going to Instagram and Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we got a ton to do. Good day for the Jags. Kind of an interesting day, back and forth, offensively and defensively. I sense a little bit of panic in the city still. From Saturday night, so we'll relive that. Also coming up, we're going to hear from Laquentin Allen, and caught up with him after practice today at the Miller Electric Center. So all that's coming up. 2 ways to join us: 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, and of course on YouTube. It's 1010XL into the night.
John Osher knows Jacksonville football like Jack's Beach knows the ocean.
That makes 2 of us.
Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it, however you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rolling.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
The first half champion Jumbo Shrimp are home this week at newly renovated ViStar Ballpark. Tonight it's dollar hot dogs courtesy of Stallmeyer. Tomorrow the first 500 fans at the main gate get a t-shirt courtesy of Ambetter Health and Renewal by Anderson. Then it's Coors Light Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Pickleball Paddle Giveaway Saturday, and Family Sunday. Baseball all week and weekend. JackShrimp.com for tickets.
Ballou here for Shmunez Vision. Why Shmunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Shmunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Shmunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Shmunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit ShmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What do they have in common? I said, what do they have in common? Communication breakdown! Jaguars defense! Get on the same freaking page, would you? Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. They're up to it. Right there. If you have been personally injured, and I hate it if that has in fact been the case, any personal injury, particularly in a car crash, okay, you need the care that you deserve. Contact Alexander Law Practice today. Rick Alexander, more than 30 years worth of expertise, obviously, in this particular, practice. And the first thing you're going to get is an automatic callback, right? 400-6600. You are going to get a call back, and then you're going to get the individualized attention that you deserve. They're going to talk about your case. Your car may be ruined. You may not be able to get to work. Again, you're never out of pocket. And if you need help financially, again, Alexander Law Practice. They're very creative as well. 400-6600, free call, free consultation. And again, check them out at alexanderlawpractice.com.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
He is Gerald Ingram, a very successful running backs coach in his career, both professionally and in college. And, of course, he is a Michigan man. And he joins Rick Ballou. Gerald, my pleasure. How are you?
Great to hear from you. It's good to see you out there in practice, and go Blue for all the Michigan fans out there.
Yeah, you still stay up with the Michigan Wolverines? I mean, it must have been incredible for you 2 years ago when you won that national championship.
Oh, it was. It's a great feeling, especially when you're down here dealing with the SEC.
Yeah.
And Big Ten, SEC. You know how that goes. I have the most respect for Nick Saban, as well. And all the things that he's done over the years. I've known him over the years as well. Mm-hmm. We've talked on the phone. But, yeah, Big Ten. Jim Harbaugh was a freshman when I was a senior, and his dad, Jack Harbaugh, was a secondary coach when I was playing there for Bo Schembechler.
Awesome.
So we go way back. I've known the Harbaugh family for years.
What's great about Gerald Ingram is that he was born in Ohio, but he played in Pennsylvania, but he still said, nah, I'm going to Michigan. Later in life, you were smart enough to realize that it's Duval for you. This is what you call home.
Yes, love Duval. We should have had a Super Bowl here. I mean, we talked about it for years and still feel it, you know, and was blessed to go to New York and be able to create what we wanted to finish, and it was a great feeling. But we probably here in Jacksonville, we might have been the best team in the NFL, and it just didn't fall right at the end.
Yeah, it was so close, yet it did not happen in January of 2000. All right,
things would have changed here.
Yeah,
things would have changed if we won.
Absolutely.
A lot of things would have changed here.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And you know, back then there was the complete lack of respect. There was a little bit of lack of identity and small market because you didn't have social media and you didn't have all that. But you know, obviously that's changed.
I mean, we did it faster than most.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the people that I know in my football world, they loved coming to Jacksonville to play then. It was exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like being in Green Bay. I tell everybody, you got to go to Lambeau Field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those people love football. It's kind of like that college feeling, atmosphere. Yeah. You remember how electric it was here when we beat, you know, Denver and everybody showed up, you know, and at the stadium, the pride we had, the Florida pride we had, you know, it's kind of like New York the same way. It's when you win in New York, I'm going to tell you, I don't care which sport it is. When you win in New York, everybody's excited.
Yeah, that was great. Then going to New England a week later, it wasn't Belichick, but someone shut out the lights for about 10 minutes.
Oh, jeez. That changed things, didn't it? You know what? That's a Jerry Jones move. Hey, I'll tell you, you go to Dallas and you play Dallas, and all of a sudden you win in Dallas, and it takes us 2 hours to go through security. It's like, come on, Jerry.
Yeah.
You want to stick it to us.
Gerald Ingram, our guest, been here in Jacksonville for quite some time, was the running backs coach from its infancy in 1995 through 2003. All right, yesterday we began fourth week of training camp. Does anything stand out for you so far, Gerald, during the practices and the game that you were able to watch on Saturday night?
I mean, there's, you know, while I'm watching, I'm evaluating things as a coach, you know, and after spending 23 years with Tom Coughlin, a lot of things stay within you as well as a lot of things you've learned from other people. You know, you're in an evaluation period. We all hated, from the standpoint of preseason games, okay? But it's one of those things you have to do. But you do it because you're trying to create a core, you know? And, I'm always looking out there as who's the core, who's the top 25, and then let me shuffle the guys in between as far as the groups go. Mm-hmm. Because the numbers are going to be the numbers.
Right.
Now, who you choose to keep on as your practice squad, developmental players, that's intriguing. The players that are emerging, just like the Navy kid, you know what I mean? He's trying to make a mark out there. Mm-hmm. You're looking for those kind of guys. You know, I remember the guys, like Victor Cruz. We didn't know who Victor Cruz is. Every day you kept writing things down like, who's this guy? Victor Cruz was taking one-on-one reps away from everybody else, and he made a name for himself, to the point where Tom Coughlin was like, where are these veterans? Why is he taking these reps over these other guys? You know what I mean?
I do.
You're looking for that standout type guy. I like Tootin. I like what he presents. I mean, he's a little guy that's playing big right now. He had a big run today. He showed some speed to finish out a long run. I like when guys finish because that's what – there are times out there I'm watching practice, and I don't know if guys are finishing through. They're not finishing. Sometimes it's inconsistency, finishing through the routes, finishing out the runs, finishing through the tackle. We know that you can make the play. You always used to tell these guys and say, hey, stay on your feet so we can stay healthy, but it allows you to get there one step quicker, to stay on your feet. Not every play's got to be a diving play, okay?
Yeah.
Can you say we can figure out if you're going to make the play or not? You're looking for that suddenness. You know what I mean? Because after a while, they all look like the same speed.
Yep. You mentioned Victor Cruz. By the way, he was a college teammate of Liam Cohen. at the University of Massachusetts, as we talk with Gerald Ingram. All right, so, as a running backs coach, I think this is arguably their best position group. You've had 5 guys get after it. You just mentioned Tootin. He's going to run He's going to run at least 2 running backs, maybe a third down back. How do you see this running back position evolving?
Well, I think they stack up the way they are right now. My concern going into the year and last year was the usage of the playmakers on this team. And I think, when you look at, San Francisco and Chris, and, you have to utilize that guy. And they're the same body type and size. Now, can he catch the ball? Can he run routes? I'm seeing more out of him right now. You imagine being able to use their 3-receiver core and go trips open, and then being able to use ATM and different things and go routes, receiver routes. We did it with Brandon Jacobs in New York. And he was 6'4", 265. He's out there against Green Bay running a go screen. Because one thing, we're not afraid to go up in there once you get inside the wall. And then you get the coverages. Are they going to play zone? They're going to play man. There's a lot of things you can do by being able to use ETM and some different things. Now, the other guys, he's a banger, but he's athletic. He can catch the ball. He can do some things, and we saw Tootin can do some different things and between the tackles as well. And the pass game. Do they have a true third down guy that a lot of people used to have? That's to be seen. But I think you can utilize ETM and tank in some situation in and out of the backfield, and you got to do things. There's screens. There's you see the great play out of Fred Taylor against Miami Dolphins. That was a slow screen, but if you want a blitz, that's a blitz zero call, and there's nobody left.
Yeah,
you have to utilize these playmakers, and I didn't think they got as much as they could have, and you got to challenge this guy. Most running backs need to be challenged, unless you're a Saquon, you're a Fred Taylor, you're an OJ, or whatever. Those guys are on the field every single play.
Yeah.
I don't see that out of these guys. I think the more you push them, the more these 2 can go in a rotation. And I've done that over the years. I played 3 backs, had 2 over 1,000 yards in one season, and Ahmad at 500. You give them a chance. If they think they have a chance to contribute, you make it hungry for them. Yeah. Competition is the best thing for a team you could ever have. You never want to have complacency.
No, you do not. Hey, Gerald, I only have a minute left. I want to wrap with this. When I was watching practice with you today, we were talking about defensive tendencies. And is this maybe the most difficult part of training camp now? Does the defense, do they have a marked advantage because they know what the offense is doing? Yes,
and it's always a hard time. If you tell even on the college ranks, you tell when they come out of spring ball, it's the same. You play against each other every single day, and that's what's great about. In some camps, you get a chance to practice against other teams. The defense is geared towards game planning. Okay, they play cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. They're trying to be simple by playing straight because you don't want to have injuries as well. Once you start moving and stunning defensive, that's where you get your practice injuries. And that'll come once they get to change of direction, their legs. So he's doing a great job of that. They're playing straight. Now they're moving the pocket. The defensive ends are definitely better than, they're ahead of where our tackles are in situations. The interior is working together with each other. But it's hard defensively because they know exactly what the offense does. So then all of a sudden you get into a game, you got to react, and they're different. Yeah. Even though, why didn't the linebacker get in the hook zone? What did you think they were going to do when you showed cover 3? You got a veteran quarterback. He's been there before. He knew exactly where he was going to go before he threw the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the linebacker's got to make that a tougher throw.
Mm-hmm.
You got to diagnose things. You got to know what the route combinations are, where you are on the field. The quarterback's the same way. You're hanging on to a route to open, to throw the ball, but where's your secondary read? Your secondary read was an in cut. It was wide open. Get off the route and make the play. You're at the 5 yards. Score the touchdown.
You fire me up, Coach. You got me all fired up.
You got to do that. But today was more intense today, and that was good to see. There was a little fighting going on. There was a little more rah-rah on defense.
I thought they were doing live tackling when Dewey threw Tank to the ground.
Yeah, they did.
I thought it was alive. I thought this was 1995 here in Jacksonville. Hey, Gerald, welcome aboard. I know you're going to be doing some work with us on the fifth quarter, and I'm going to have you on, and others going to have you on as well. Really appreciate the time. I'll see you practice on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening. Thank you.
There he goes. There he goes. Gerald Ingram, ladies and gentlemen. Former running backs coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Love it. I mean, the guy's spirited. The guy brings some energy. He brings some juice to this normally lame show.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Every joint in the body was designed for movement. Inactivity can cause stiffness, weakness, weight gain, and decrease in overall balance. So you should strive for at least 30 minutes a day of exercises that promote flexibility like yoga, strengthening with weights, and cardiovascular fitness like walking, swimming, or biking. The more you move, the better you will feel, and your overall health will benefit. Let's get healthy, Jax. Go Jags.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life.
Just orthopedic specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There was a sighting today at the Miller Electric Center, and I caught it. He is a veteran, not a veteran, but a veteran. Emmanuel Agba. I see you. And that was noticeable. As expected, par for the course for JHA and Trayvon. Just getting after it. And I say this, and you're like, well, Ballou, what happened on Saturday? I don't know what to tell you outside of communication breakdown and tempo. But it remains really mysterious to me as to the just lack of preparation, the lack of effort that they showed on Saturday night. I would expect them to be absolutely different Sunday at 1 o'clock against New Orleans. Just my thought. My guess is extensive playing time on Sunday for both offense and defense with the starters. And then they practice in Miami next week. I would think that, very little as far as the starters, if at all. But we shall see. Dylan Denmark is with us, getting a lot of reaction to Gerald Ingram, who I love the conversation. I enjoy watching practice with him. But he mentioned O.J. Simpson is a great back.
I was thinking, he was a running back for Michigan in the 90s. You think? When he was in the 90s, right, with Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
And then he goes from there and it goes straight into coaching, being a running backs coach. So you would think that a lot of the tape that he watched from before his playing time was O.J. Simpson. Mm-hmm. He was one of the greatest running backs.
There's
of all
no
time.
question about it. I mean, people are scared to mention his name, but you can't take away from just how dominant he was during a running back time period in the NFL.
2,000 yards in 14 games. That's still incredible.
Used to see him every year with my late dad and his buddies. We would go to Schaefer Stadium and Sullivan Stadium when it changed names and watch O.J. Simpson and the old divisions. That's back when everyone ran. Every one of those teams had a great running back. Zonka and Kick and Mercury Morris, maybe a Freeman McNeil in New York. Baltimore had what? Lydell Mitchell, right? New England got by with Sam Bam, the Cunningham, and Minnie Mac Heron, and Andy Johnson, Ron Calhoun. I mean, it was big boy football, but it was run football. Even when this franchise began, some people do forget that, backs have always been huge. James Stewart. You had, how come I can't think of his name right now? The kid from North Carolina who, Natron Means.
He's coaching too right now.
Oh, I love Natron Means. We were going to the locker room after they lost the SC championship. I say, hey, man, do you think I can get you on tomorrow? He goes, bro, I'm going to Jamaica. And then, of course, they brought in Fred Taylor. But my point is, you realize Mark Brunell never threw for more than 20 touchdown passes in one season in Jacksonville with a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Jimmy Smith, an incredible number 2 wide receiver in Keenan McCardell, and, serviceable guys, Willie Jackson, Reggie Barlow, Pete Mitchell, never threw for more than 20. And that's when the league started to change from being a running league to eventually a passing league. I mean, the quarterback that Liam Cohen had last year in Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, how about 41 touchdown passes? That's what you got 1 year ago. Okay, he mentioned Tootin. He was sensational today. There was this one play during 11-on-11 where he just turned the corner and he was going right and he got by Christian Braswell and he was not to be denied. But I think there's only, a few people in the league that are able to do that. And, Travis Etienne, again, in my opinion, a really good practice. He's clearly the number one guy right now. He got all the reps with the starters on Saturday night. Again, we don't know what's going to happen this Sunday. We still know that the way Liam Cohen uses his backs, that both are going to get plenty of at-bats. I mean, right now, to me, it's a two-back set. Or not a two-back set, although he may run that. I don't think he'll show it in the preseason. But he may run it. I mean, that was maybe the third or fourth, the Pony offense a year ago with a two-back set, one tight end. So that could happen with Liam Cohen. But both are going to get opportunities. You just have Tootin. He's knocking at their heels. There was a little bit of a setback with the hamstring tightness, which I talked to him about, just the other day. But he has been brilliant ever since. I mean, we saw the toughness on Saturday night, from 8 yards out? And the offensive line certainly did its job there. You got to love that. Also today, another run up the middle. Just a burst. And we went through the opening drive during last night's show, the 12-play, 44-yard drive, which took 7 minutes and 19 seconds. Obviously, the self-inflicted wounds, the penalty on 1st and 10, the false start, and then the double barrel penalty that happened late where they had to settle for a field goal. But my only criticism there offensively, outside of the pass that Lawrence threw to Brian Thomas Jr., was on his second carry, Travis Etienne missed a hole. And this is where it really does get interesting, and I wish I had more time with Gerald Ingram to ask him about that specific play. Maybe I will during Thursday's practice, but that's what you got to ask yourself now if you're the Jaguars. Let's make, there's no question about it. Jacksonville tried to improve their running back stable during the draft. We all saw it behind the scenes, right? And they ended up getting Tootin in the 4th, and they ended up getting Griffin Jr., who we're going to hear from here on the other side, Allen Jr., who we're going to hear from here on the other side of this break in the 7th round. They tried to improve that room. And we know that this is the final year with Ingram, with Etienne. And we also know that, Tank is a guy that can be a bell cow, but, we saw on Saturday night again, you can't trust his hands. You just can't trust Tank Bigsby's hands. Etienne missed this hole where he should have caught left and gone up and, had a sizable gain. That's where we are. And that's where we're going to go, is not having the visibility to know where to run. I'm not taking this one preseason play and say it's not going to work for Travis Etienne. In my opinion, Travis Etienne has had a really, really good training camp. That entire position group has had a really good training camp. But what if Tootin sees that hole? That's what they're going to have to talk about. That's what the Jaguars coaching staff is going to have to talk about. So let's do that. Let's hear from the other rookie. Got in a fight today. Laquentin Allen Jr. He's been kind of feisty since he got here, and I like it. We'll play his thoughts as I caught up with him this morning after practice number 14 at the Miller Electric Center.
Get more horsepower under the hood.
Down the backstretch.
Saturday at Richmond.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
I'm Frank Frangie, and you've heard me tell you how much success my daughter Amber is having with the Awaken 180 weight loss program. But Amber, maybe it's time you should tell them.
I think they'd rather hear from you, Dad. You're the radio guy.
Yeah, but in this case, you're the one doing all the work.
But that's the thing, Dad. It doesn't feel like work. The food is great. I never feel hungry. My coach, Mary, is so good, so encouraging. If you follow the plan, Awaken 180 really works.
Well, everyone I know that's tried it has said the same thing. The result is people not only look better, but they feel better. I've kind of known you your whole life, and I can tell you feel great.
I feel better than I have in years. I love that part. I feel so good. I have Awaken 180 to thank for that.
So you heard it from my kid, and you can feel great too. Just call 1-844-346-1800. That's 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com and start your transformation today.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Hey, it's Joe C. When was the last time you flushed out your water heater? Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan. So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Beer, water, beer. That's a pretty good game plan when it comes to battling the summer heat. When you hit the beach, fishing hole, or golf course, make sure you hydrate. Anheuser-Busch is always up for a good time. Just remember to drink responsibly.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know, it's there's a little bit of a misconception. The 9404 just got them and said, didn't realize it until someone pointed out ETN gets tackled easily. Now I cannot notice it. It hasn't always been the case. Remember 2 years ago, he led the NFL in yardage after being hit. You know, that was also the year that 25% of Jacksonville's carries by their backfield was met at the line of scrimmage or prior to the line of scrimmage. Also, our buddy Daniel Griffiths, our numbers guy, reminded us recently, this is back on July 29th, that Tank Bigsby's 2.8 yards after contact per attempt led all rushers last year. So maybe a little bit of tomfoolery. This offensive line is still arguably one of the biggest concerns with this franchise. And, if a hole is open, you got to have vision. You got to have wiggle. You got to have patience. You got to have it all. Laquentin Allen Jr., some believe, has it all, even though he was selected in the 7th round. After today's practice at the Miller Electric Center, I caught up with the 7th round draft pick.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, a hot one out here today, and I thought a very physical one as we're joined by rookie Laquentin Allen. How did it go?
Went well today. I feel like it was a very competitive day out there. Yes, sir. Already?
Syracuse to here.
Yeah.
What's it like as far as the heat and then certainly the humidity?
I would say first couple weeks had to get used to it, and once that went by, and kept getting after it every day and working hard every day, got used to the heat within a couple weeks. So it isn't. I would say definitely the weather is different, but football isn't different.
The group as a whole, I would describe as hungry. It seems like no matter who's up, really takes advantage of their opportunity. Definitely. What's it been like to come in and have, Tank and Travis in front of you?
Definitely got a talented room, from the front down. And, we get each other better every day. And that's what it's about, and we keep each other on our toes, to want to be better every day and, never slack on anything.
You're a pure back, an overall back. I'm told that you may have the best hands in the backfield. You're the best in pass protect in this backfield. Short yardage, goal line, you're the one who's going to want to get the ball. What's it like to hear that, still knowing that you have to go out and prove it?
It means a lot, and, just not too high, not too little, just always being myself at the end of the day, and, taking care of things the right way, and, off the field and on the field, whether that's film, keeping my body right, and just attacking every day like it's, my last.
Feisty out there today. You got into it a little bit, and you have throughout camp. What's that like, fighting for a job, altercations that do happen on the field?
I think that's what football is about, the physical part, competing with your brothers every day, and then when it's over, and then, the next day compete again. I think that's what it's all about.
There's that old adage that you defensive players play to the echo of the whistle. Is that the way you describe yourself offensively?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure. We're both playing football at the end of the day, offense, defense, special teams. You got that helmet on. You want to play to the whistle for sure every down.
All right. Last one for you as you prepare now for your first trip going out on the road to play the Saints. How different is that as far as preparation?
Isn't anything different than when I first got here? Same thing. Preparing the right way on and off the field, getting with coach with film, and seeing things that I need to pick up in my game, and seeing things that I need to help the room around me get better. So
appreciate the time, and best of luck coming up on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Really enjoy that young man, Laquentin Allen Jr. He's just he appears to be fun-loving guy, totally opposite of what he's like on the field, where he's a menace. I described him early on as like a big version of Brad Marchand. He just gets into it with everyone. And, this team needs that. They do. They need some guys like that. He's buried right now on this depth chart. He's number 4. He's behind Etienne, Bigsby, Tootin, and then it's Allen Jr. But again, he could be the ultimate package. Pass protect, hands, and as a runner. Only time will tell. All right, let's get ready to bring in our buddy Niall Lawrence Stample. It's been a couple of minutes on Florida State. I see Conrad Hussey just quit minutes ago. Tony White yesterday, I think it was, or maybe it was Sunday night after the scrimmage, blasted some Florida State defensive players. Conrad Hussey apparently was one. He took his ball and just quit, just walked away right here 25 minutes ago. So let's bring in the former Seminole national champion, Niall Lawrence Stample. We'll talk a few minutes about Florida State. He was at the practices in Jacksonville last week, and then we'll get back to Jaguars football.
Home of the Jaguars. Follow every play, interview, and press conference.
We're really working, trying to get better.
1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacressporting.com.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 12, 1994, the MLB Players Association goes on strike, leading to the cancellation of the World Series. A dark day for baseball.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you talk a lot about a diamond's cut grade. Why is a diamond graded for cut?
Frank, that's simple. We cut grade diamonds to show a measurement of beauty and light return to the person looking at the diamond so they can understand the value difference between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one cut for maximum weight. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you find out that the American Gem Society Laboratory actually assigns performance grades and proportion grades using patented computer software and grades for polish and symmetry using a microscope. The end result of cut grading is a final grade that can go from a 0 or ideal to a 10, which is poor. Each of these grades are priced a little differently. That's why you can see a diamond with a fine color and clarity priced low, particularly on the internet, because a trained gemologist won't buy it for resale because of the poor cut. Unfortunately, these type deals aren't good deals. They're bad deals for the unknowing customer.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Today was the 14th practice for the Jaguars during training camp over at the Miller Electric Center. Thank you to Gerald Ingram, former running backs coach years ago for the Jags, and also running back Laquentin Allen Jr. Good stuff. They're off tomorrow and then back at it Thursday and Friday. Thursday is supposed to be a padded practice where they're going to have a simulated type of scrimmage. So that should be really interesting. No doubt about it. All right, let's talk some Florida State. Let's do that with our analyst. Always love our conversations with Niall Lawrence Stample. I just watched barrel in. You look like a brand new truck. All shiny and everything. How's business?
Business is good, man. I can't complain.
You look good in the truck, man. You know, one of those, I mean, there's certain guys that are truck drivers. I happen to be one. You absolutely as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I love a good pickup truck.
Yeah. Hey, moments ago, looks like Conrad Hussey just picked up his ball and went home. It comes after surprising, I guess I would say nowadays, comments by new defensive coordinator Tony White really called out his defense.
Yeah, it sucks because I really like Conrad. He was someone especially getting recruited. It's hard. There's not a ton of guys that have been recruited and came and is a true Seminole and not a transfer. So that sucks that he wasn't able to stay and stick around. And obviously, I'm sure we'll kind of figure out what that real situation was. But it is what it is. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, you were one of the very few who was able to take in Florida State's practice here at UNF the last couple of days. I guess it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Anything stand out for you during that work?
I would say the difference between at least this season's camp and last season's camp was the sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. I know last year I spoke a little bit about how Norvell was running all over the place and he was really kind of fired up, where I feel like this season, this camp, he really wasn't. He was very intense, which I love, but it seems like he relied a little bit more on the team to pull their weight, and I think that they did. I think that there was some issues there as far as just being able to keep that intensity, but I definitely see a sense of urgency as far as realizing that we have to get to a certain place, and we're not there yet.
Yeah. Last year at this time, we were talking about 3 possible first-round draft picks on the defensive line. Mm-hmm. Marvin Jones Jr., Peyton, and the return still here of Gerald Jackson. Obviously, it went sideways. The first 2 I mentioned went to Oklahoma and LSU, respectively, is where they're gone. The big names are not there. Did they catch your eye nonetheless?
Yeah, I thought they did. There was a few guys that stood out to me where I'm looking forward to seeing play. There's a little bit of question as far as the run support. But when it comes to the defensive line, I think that there's still a lot of talent still left. Depth is a little bit concerning, but I think there's a ton of talent. I think Kevin Wynn is going to do some great things. I cannot wait to watch him. Juju is going to be someone to be dealt with, especially within this Tony White's defense. I think he's going to do well. And then obviously Darryl Jackson is the monster. I think he's going to play well this season. He's refined a couple things. I saw him kind of get off the ball a lot lower, which was the only issue that I saw of his last year. But I think all in all, I think we have some talent. I think we can handle up front when it comes into those trenches. It's just going to be staying healthy.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. 3-3-5. I mean, totally different look. Yeah. 3 guys on the scrimmage, 3 backers, 5 always, in a nickel type of defense. So, once again, for starters, they have to learn a new defense. But nowadays, it's almost relative. I mean, I look here. 5 of the 11, Niall, appear to be transfers. So learning a new offense, learning a new defense, that's kind of just the way it is today.
Yeah, it is. And if the second that you're able to get a couple of those guys that could really get it quickly, they're able to bring the other guys with them. And that leadership is one thing that I did see. I definitely saw some internal leadership. I will say, when it comes to leadership this upcoming season, I think that we should not have a lack thereof. We should be in good shape. I think that there's players that are playing with a chip on their shoulder. Last year was another one of those concerns as far as not a lot of guys were being vocal. I saw some guys being vocal. I didn't see a lot of rah-rah. I saw a lot of people really trying to hold each other accountable, which I was very happy to see. And it was really refreshing to see some of that leadership kind of be a bright light at that practice.
Tough to believe. It's 2.5 weeks away. It's Florida State. It's Alabama. It's in God's country. We're talking about training camp here with our Florida State analyst, Niall Lawrence Stample, who, of course, won a national title with Florida State. Did you hear any of the Jimbo stuff with your old teammate Freddie Stevenson?
Yeah, that was awesome. Jimbo's a character, and I love hearing him gotta go off and rant because it's all the truth. And I think overall it sucks because the way that things ended, I really wish it didn't have to end that way, because Jimbo was someone that embodied Florida State. I think that he really, truly showed that Florida State was something that he wanted nothing but the best for. And it came into fruition when it came to our play on the field. So it sucks the way that it ended, but I love Freddie Stevenson kind of going on there and talking with him and being able to shed some light on how good of a team we were, because we were dominant.
What did you see out of quarterback Thomas Castellanos?
I would have loved to have seen him a little bit more vocal, but I think that he can throw.
Maybe he's done talking.
Maybe.
After the comments he made about Alabama.
Maybe.
Then he doubled down in Charlotte. Anyway, continue on.
Maybe. But I love the way he could throw on the run really well. I think someone like Jalen Lucas, who we don't talk about enough, obviously he wasn't able to do as much as he would like to have last season. But I think that may be a really good dynamic, just because Castellanos is going to have to get out of the pocket. He's going to have to get elusive, and being able to have someone like Jalen that can kind of slip and kind of get lost in the defense and be able to find little pockets, I think that they may be a good pair. But I liked it. I thought he was consistent. There was definitely some things that he needs to work on, and Gus Malzahn has obviously talked about it a ton.
Right.
And I think that we'll see a turn. But from what I saw, he looked solid.
We talk all the time about continuity and camaraderie. My goodness, 5 offensive linemen who are transfers from another school. That just sounds like a nightmare. What did it look like to you?
It didn't look terrible, but there's definitely some things that have to get fixed. I think the one thing is offensive line have to really mesh well. They have to work as one, that as everyone knows. But when it comes to the trenches, there's only so much that you can do with the amount of time that you have. So you have to really hone it in. And I think that's a little bit of the issues as far as what Coach Novell's keeps talking about, as far as trying to progress and needing to come around the corner and get around the corner when it comes to this training camp. But at the end of the day, the results that we get are the results that we're going to get.
Right.
Hopefully we get a unified system that we can kind of plug and play with some of those extra players. But overall, they looked all right.
Do they look like, as a group, do they look like they care? It feels like Norvell's weeded out some guys that maybe didn't buy into his program. I mean, after everything that happened, could you look at them and say it felt different? Or was it, just another training camp practice, another year?
Again, I think with 2025's training camp kind of coming to closer to an end, obviously that scrimmage yesterday, but with 2025 training camp happening, I will say everyone that I saw on the field looked more serious than it looked like last year. It looked like last year we were in a almost like in a trance, as far as realizing that we're good and we're just going to reproduce what we did last year, which that comfortability is never okay in college football, ever, because every single team, and one thing Jimbo always talked about was every team's identity is different. And he went in. The team last year is no longer here. Not regardless if there's a similar players or not, the team's identity is completely different.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that and embody that. Not just talk about it, but embody that. And I don't think that was done last year, but I see that it's happening this year. Unfortunately, not by choice, but by force.
I don't think anyone saw it a year ago. I mean, everyone seemed to think that they were just going to keep that thing rolling. They were preseason number 10 in the AP. And we talked about it yesterday, 13 of the top 25 teams in last year's AP top 25 didn't finish in the top 25. All right, last one for you. What did you see? This number 15, Boggs, the true freshman, I hear a lot of great things at wide receiver. Robinson Jr. comes in. His daddy obviously had a great career coming out of California, playing here for Florida State. Squirrel White, any of those guys stand out?
Yeah, as far as our, it's the depth, right? And I definitely saw some people stand out, and it's just Elijah Moore. I think that if we're gonna see someone like a bright light that hopefully it's going to be him. He's got to step up. If we can have him step up and really try to get to that next level, that'll be a game changer.
He's
I think
6'4".
there's some weapons, but I think he can.
Can
be
he
a
run?
game changer.
Can he get it? Can he get off the ball?
He can get off the ball.
Yeah,
He can run. He's elusive. But can you translate that to gameplay every Saturday?
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I didn't even ask you about the backs. They got a bunch of them. You know, that young kid I keep hearing about from the same high school as Cam Davis. I guess he had a couple of touchdowns the other night during the scrimmage. And, you know, the veteran Roydale Williams are there. So, there's no shortage of running backs. Can you find one or two of them?
Yeah, Chroma is a monster as well.
Is he?
Yeah,
Tell us about him.
He's especially with those bowed legs, he can tote that rock. He is running up and down that field. And I love it because it's when you have a young guy like that, it elevates the whole room. True freshmen that come into a locker room or come into a meeting room elevate the whole room because it shows that you should be further than you should be, right? You should be further than you are, right? As a redshirt junior, redshirt sophomore, you should be further along if this true freshman is coming in here. So it elevates the whole room. I think that he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, but it's also going to push along the Cam Davises and the Roydale. And I'm looking forward to see that running back room flourish, and it won't happen unless that O-line figures it out.
He's got Jalen Lucas. We talked a lot about him a year ago. I know you mentioned him about 5 minutes ago. They got Gavin Sawchuk from Oklahoma, and Singleton from right here out of Jacksonville. So they do have the backs. Okay, are you going to God's country? Going to Tallahassee in the next 2.5 weeks before the game, or your plans are in Duval?
I'm going to try. I think I have a meeting there, so I think I'm going to end up being there anyways.
That'd be great.
But yeah, it's we're slowly winding down. I got to see the new facility. I haven't been back there, so I got to see some of those things. But I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like come a couple days, week prior.
It's going to be going to be a blast. All right, NLS. He's Niall Lawrence Stample. What's the latest? What's going on at NLS Cleaning?
Yeah, we're getting into a little bit more of our off season to where we do a lot of getting a little bit prepped for the holidays, getting prepped for the season. We're doing a lot of exterior cleaning on like backyards and pool decks. Everyone coming over for tailgates or different parties and stuff, as well as a lot of our commercial clients are getting ready for the end of the year budgets and stuff like that. So exterior pressure washing, window cleaning, gutter cleaning. We're here always, 904-708-8802. We'd love to help with whatever you need.
Sounds good. There he goes. He is Niall Lawrence Stample. We'll pick it up again next Tuesday. Sir. There he goes. Good stuff there. So, Conrad Hussey just announced moments ago he was battling for one of those safety jobs with KJ Kirkland, and apparently he has just got up and left the team. So, 2.5 weeks before that opener for Florida State against Alabama. All right, you want to comment on anything you heard Niall Lawrence Stample and I talk about Florida State-related? 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures as well. You can get us on YouTube at 1010XL Into the Night. We have plenty more to do as well on the Jaguars, and that includes coming up next.
There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carlyon to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Back to school special with those guys. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135, plus a free hallway and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Upgrade her diamond ring this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Beard's Diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest financing till the year 2030. Not just on engagement rings, also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. Beard's Diamonds is Jacksonville's locally owned source for exquisite jewelry. We can do things the big corporate jewelers can only dream of, like lowering interest rates all the way down to 0. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. Rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread your payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beard's Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay 0 down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer that ends August 31st and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards. On approved credit, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to American-Electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Leonard Skinnard is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinnard Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces.
Singing songs about
Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale Wednesday, August 13th, only at Ticketmaster. DailysPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinnard rocks for those who serve.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thinking of now, we're on stamp a little bit of Florida State love. The alma mater up against it. They are a huge underdog at home on opening day against Alabama. Alabama announced their starting quarterback. It's Simpson, who's going to be QB1. Ty Simpson, the former 5-star. So he has won the gig. Let's look him up here for a second, and then we'll get back to Jaguars football. But if you have any questions on the Jaguars, 2 ways to reach us. Text line 641-1010. That's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, or you can get us as well on YouTube. Go to 1010XL Into the Night. So he's a junior. He's 6'2", 208 from Martin, Tennessee. And he's had limited experience in 22, 23, and 24, including last year going 14 to 25 for 167 yards. Never has thrown a touchdown or interception. So he's taken snaps. I mean, he's thrown, let's see here, 45. He's thrown 50 career balls. And he's obviously handed it off a great deal. And he's going to be the guy with Alabama to take on Tommy Castellanos and Florida State. Again, they're a huge favorite, somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 and a half points. 0937 says, Boo, I really think Tony White was the best hire our dumbass coach made in the offseason. No nonsense guy that the program needs. It's a great point, but you see the other side of it. You see how soft kids are today. Conrad Hussey just quit. He called out players. Now, he said this in the media. We don't know what happened on the field, in the locker room. Did he individually call out players? Did he one-on-one, behind a closed door call out players? This is where we are today. This doesn't only apply to Florida State. This applies to everything, okay? Kids aren't going to get yelled at the way they once did. Conrad Hussey just picked up his ball and left. Imagine quitting 2.5 weeks before the start of the year. So now, there's different ways to look at it. I happen to think Conrad Hussey's the guy that could have helped this football team. Maybe he got on him to the point where he got up and he left. There was a challenge for this guy. There was some adversity for this guy. He took the easy way out. He said, screw that, I'll transfer. So the tough guy thing is something that we have witnessed with coaches forever. But I just don't know how it's going to work nowadays. 0253 Blue at the FSU Bama game was at night. What is the betting line in Vegas? Thanks, Rick. That game, I think it's at 3:30, right?
That's right.
What's the latest here? 14 and a half?
I know it's double digits. Last I seen it was like 12. It's probably gotten up to 14 now.
Yeah, I think it is up. I think it is up around 14. If it was at night, maybe you can make a little bit more of a case for Florida State. But,
13.
No one's going to argue here. And Bama's a top 10 team. Florida State is not. 28-35. Boy, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm trading Brian Thomas Jr. I need linemen and defensive backs. I do. I think you're crazy. I think right now is a rough patch for Brian Thomas Jr. And I think he's going to be fine. I do. I mean, to me, he is still their best player. And it's not even close. I think he is their best. For what it's worth, right now, I'd probably go him and then Trayvon Walker as the two best players. What does it really say about your franchise for you to come out and say, Travis Hunter's your best player? He's never played a game. And, I thought it was a good work today, though, for Hunter. 30 defensive snaps, as we said a little bit earlier, day 2, Tyson Campbell not in. Undisclosed injury. So you're not, you could conceivably be playing this game against the Saints on Sunday, missing 4 defensive starters. And if you're not missing 4 defensive starters, then you're certainly missing 4 guys who are in your top 12, 13, 14 defensive players. You look at Buster Brown, Tyson Campbell. They could be your starting corners. Matter of fact, Buster was the leader before he went down. I don't have an update on him. They do not have to tell us anything at all injury related, until the week of the game against Carolina. Then you go to the defensive line, you look at Eric Armstead and Mason Smith. I mean, you can say, sure, Devon Hamilton, but again, they're certainly in that rotation. So you're down at least 4 bodies. Offensively, you're a little bit more healthy at this point. Still pretty fascinated to see how that first 5 is going to be, right? I mean, Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, and then what? I don't think Ed Oga's coming out. I don't. Does that leave a Harrison-Macari battle? I mean, that's really interesting at this point. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow when when John Osher does join us. Trevor Lawrence today, 16-25, a touchdown. Threw that to Johnny Munt. That was late in practice. And, you know, it was kind of a crazy story. This Tank story, I just tweeted out. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, this was just really interesting. And let's see. Here's exactly what I wrote. Live tackling coming out of goal line. Dewey smokes Tank. And he went out and put all these emojis. You understand any of these emojis? Did you guys talk about this when it happened?
Yeah, he just tweeted a bunch of emojis. I'm trying to pull it up right now. It was
one was a Pinocchio emoji.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant to put that one because it was like 10 straight emojis and that one at the end. It was just basically like his face being like a squiggly line, like ugh, like I don't know. I didn't know how to explain it other than what happened from that play when he got cracked, and then he tweeted that right after practice, by the way.
And, you know, let me be specific about this. I don't care who you were going to get tackled. I mean, Dewey completely read this, and Gerald Ingram and I talked about defensive tendencies deeper in camp, or they have a really good idea about what the offense is going to do when they practice about them every day. It could have been any one of the 5 backs. Dewey's going to stone any one of them. But what is really interesting about this is that Tank hasn't tweeted in over 2 months, and then he tweets this like 25 minutes after practice. He takes my tweet and retweets it with emojis.
It was a bunch of woozy faces. That was the best way to explain it. With a Pinocchio face at the end.
Uh-huh. And then Travis Etienne is supposed to talk to us. He does not because he is cramping. So then all of a sudden it was just social media was nuts. It was like, what's going on here?
Who's getting traded?
Tank's doing this. What? Etienne's doing that. I'm kind of like, really? It's a non-story to me. I can't believe that this thing has legs.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, a fight that happens in practice and everybody freaks out. It's like, this is football players. Tempers are flaring. They've been hitting each other for weeks on end now. And it's just part of practice.
One guy told me that his sources said that my story was cap. And then I responded and I said, you know, Dewey tackled him in the end zone for a safety. No cap. I mean, I don't care who you are, what the situation is. My eyes are perfect, thanks to the good folks at Shmunez Vision. I watched him tackle him in the end zone. They were scrimmaging from the 1-yard line, trying to get out of the end zone, go 99 yards. And again, Dewey read it. Dewey just read it. And that was the end of the road. But, yeah, it really became kind of odd for a while. And, you know, apparently that story now is that at least it's gone away. But it's, I don't enjoy what is going on here in Jacksonville on Travis Etienne. I'm trying to figure. Jacksonville is great. Duval is great at identifying a player and then having most of the city get all over him, right? I mean, I could think of whether it's Luke Jokel. I mean, just this player after player after player. It's like once you get your guy, you know, this is going to be the one that we're going to pick on. I still don't understand all in the negativity with Travis Etienne. Outside of that huge fumble a year ago at Miami on opening day, the 14-point swing, you know, you can go back to when this franchise got underway with the little man, James Stewart. Okay? He fumbled some footballs. And Jaguar fans got on him, but that was an example of immature NFL fans. Because to you, in 95, 96, whatever it was, that was a Tennessee Volunteer fumbling the football. Not a Jaguar. You understand what I'm saying? Fans have matured over the years. I mean, for the most part, I can say that about probably 97, 98% of Jaguars fans. It doesn't matter where they went to school. Once they're here, they're yours. You know, if you're a Gator and you still hate Tennessee players or Florida State players, I mean, come on, man. You got to learn to separate that. And that goes both ways. I'm sure maybe early on there were Florida State fans who didn't appreciate Fred Taylor. Are you kidding me? I mean, you've got to learn that, Saturday and Sunday is different. Those Saturday guys, if they help your Sunday team, you got to let it go as far as where they went to school. At least, that's the way I've always looked at it. But it's changed for the better. It absolutely has. But I'll tell you that, with James Stewart going way back when, a lot of that angst came because of where he went to college at Tennessee. Much more to do. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's E.T. here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, the wings are fresh, the drinks are cold, and the game is always on. With 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, and handcrafted cocktails, there's no better place to kick back and catch every play. Escape the ordinary. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Blue Crab House open until 9 o'clock tonight. San Jose and then Julington Creek. It's right there. You can't miss it. Tomorrow night, $1 steamed oysters. Each and every Wednesday at the Blue Crab House. All right, let's grab some questions here. Jaguars off tomorrow, back at it Thursday and Friday. 43-76. Blue, who's your guess is the odd man out in the running back room? This is fascinating to me. I mean, you can't possibly keep 5 running backs, right? You can't do it. I mean, in that position, don't they grow on trees? The odd man out is going to be Jackson, but he's your biggest back. My belief would be keep 4. Can you bury him on the practice squad? If not, there's a good chance you'll lose him. You know, I doubt they make a trade before the season gets underway. I just don't think that is going to be the case. But, I mean, this is a really strong group, and they have all done a nice job. I think it's the best position group of anything that we have seen on this field. And it's still wide open as to exactly who is going to get the majority of those carries. 89-99 Ballou. Do the Jags intend on playing guard deck this Sunday? What have you seen from Abdullah? Now, this is the most mysterious situation for me on this team. Those two are listed as co-starters. I know they updated the depth chart today. I don't know if it changed. I haven't really analyzed it, but certainly this was the case last week, including the game on Saturday night. Gardeck is a veteran who they like. I mean, he's coming off the ACL and was just taken off the PUP list. When I look at this, my feeling is when they're in base defense, I'd love to have Laquentin, Lloyd, and Ventrell Miller. Those are your three best linebackers. The problem is neither one is all that good in coverage. Certainly Lloyd is not. Are they going to play Abdullah? We've been waiting for this to work with him. He's got, this guy went from a one-trick pony who they basically lined up as an edge early in his career and said, get to the quarterback, to a guy now that they're having doing multiple things. Nothing would surprise me here, including this could be, it feels like it's always been defensive tackle, but this could possibly be a position that involves the waiver wire. Do they have their eyes on someone else who is going to get cut, in 10 days or whenever it is, who makes this football team better? I think there's two positions. Defensive tackle is far and away number one. I think another outside linebacker could possibly take place. So it's a really good question. Gardeck has just basically gotten involved in all of this. It could be a week away. Could save him till Miami. Or you know what, honestly, he could be still a roster spot decision. And they need to see it. He's up there in age a little bit. It's time. You get your opportunity Sunday at 1 o'clock. Let's see what you can do with it. 3326, boy, you got a new listener. My daughter's only a couple of months old, but we listen to your show and I pick her up after work. I would imagine that's not your baby who works. That's after when you work. She knows the truth when she hears it. Well, we certainly do appreciate that. Love listeners. Oh, my God. I haven't been on YouTube in a little bit. They're going crazy, man. I can't respond tonight. It's like this is like a Shaq free throw. My ability to respond to you on YouTube. Certain nights I can, certain nights I cannot. It's as simple as that. But what do you think, to let Trevor swing the ball deep this year more than they did last year? All of our wide receivers have speed. There's no question about it. But what's the best way to complete a deep ball? Dylan, you know that answer. What is it?
Best way to complete a deep ball?
Right. Offensively, what do you need to do in order to really have a good deep ball? What do you need to do offensively?
You got to have protection, number one. Mm-hmm. Quarterback has to have some hang time of the ball. And you got to be able to hit it on his outside shoulder usually.
Okay. I was going to say also run the ball.
Yeah, that too.
You run the ball and you have those guys on their toes as opposed to being on their heels, right? And you get that short stuff. I think you are going to be pleasantly surprised with how much you see this offense move. I know you got 12 plays on Saturday night. And during those 12 plays, you saw a counter by a receiver in Brown. You saw a designed screen to ETN. You saw a hospital ball to Thomas Jr. But you also saw those two balls that went to Travis Hunter that were what? Find a way to get him the ball. I mean, one of those passes went like 3 yards. Just give your playmakers the football. And you're going to see consistently how they're not lined up at the same three wide receiver positions, how they change it up, how they invert it, how they preset motion, how they flip the field, everything they do pre-snap. Again, yesterday was a little bit bizarre, but they ran 40 plays where all they did was go to the line of scrimmage, call a play, and at times there'd be somewhat of an audible or a change in the play at the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, and the officials blew the whistle. And if you go back to Liam Cohen, he talked about cleats in the ground. I love this with Cohen, and I don't know if I completely understood it when I heard it, but then when I heard it for a second time, it was like respectfully acting as if, I don't want to say children again, but, literally back to coaching 101. And the most basics, let's get our cleats in the ground. I mean, I loved it. I'm trying to fit, man. I don't know if he's got a little bit of Zen in him, if he's got a little bit of Phil Jackson in him, but and nothing, it doesn't mean anything until you start winning games. Then we could talk about pushing the right buttons, and let me give you a phenomenal example. How about a two-time defending Stanley Cup champion, Paul Maurice? He is filthy. He knows how to push their buttons. He knows how to motivate. He does it individually to players. He does it as a group. He does it with the media. He is a perfect mixture of criticism when needed, motivation, and support. There's not a lot of coaches like that. You go talk to those Panther players, man, they swear by this guy. And again, he'll push their buttons. I'm not going to put Liam Cohen, who's coached one preseason football game, in that category. But let me tell you something. It's different. This isn't Peterson. This isn't Marone. This isn't Meyer. I mean, this is different. I really get the feeling that he's not going to be afraid to call out his players if he believes it is needed. I don't want to get ahead of this. I want to watch it. I don't want to make some huge proclamation that, hey, but have you noticed that? What I'm saying here about how it just feels different from him? He's not afraid to say what really is on his mind?
He's transparent. He does, and he's not buddy with a lot of people in the media. Like, I remember Doug last year, even before it fell off, like it seemed like he came into every press conference and he was, having a joke here and there. Like he's serious. Like and if you ask him a question, he answers it thoroughly. He doesn't, look at you like you're stupid or, none that Doug Peterson did other than that one time.
I'd explain it to you, but you guys would never figure it out.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't figure it out. But yeah, I mean, every answer you give is just, 30 seconds to a minute.
That was so awesome.
Oh, jeez.
I'd explain it to you, but you guys would never figure it out.
Yeah, you guys are too stupid.
That was great. All right, that was a good question. That was CRS092 on YouTube. Let's take you up to 8 o'clock, then Hacker will join you.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Florida Heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Your doctor says your testosterone is normal. Normal for who? Beta males? That's where those lab ranges come from. Male XL uses optimal levels, where you were at 25, not where outdated mainstream medicine thinks you should be. Our protocol is different. Daily dosing, multiple hormones, personalized to your body, not some insurance company's spreadsheet. This is precision medicine, not sick care. Try MaleXL.com, free test. Stop being normal. Start being optimal.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Day 14 for the Jaguars, getting after it this morning at the Miller Electric Center. That was a really good practice. Overall, physical today, a little feisty. We had a battle between Laquentin Allen Jr. and Brandon Combs, throwing hands, if you will. So an interesting practice. I guess the good news would be the return of Anton Harrison after a personal day yesterday. Also, I thought it was the most side work I've seen yet with Eric Armstead as he continues to go through his rehabilitation with a bad back. Tyson Campbell, unfortunately, missed a second consecutive day. All right, so instead we got 30 plays worth during 11 on 11 with Hunter exclusively on defense. And again, it's funny to watch. He'll go back. He played primarily left corner, but he just flies around the field. He had what would have been an interception, but he was out of bounds. There was another play where he was called for a PI, a pass interference, holding of the jersey. They were... when he wasn't even targeted, I was watching him. I mean, you talk about sticky and his coverage skills. He just looks to me like a more natural corner than a wide receiver. Now, I heard the exact opposite of that yesterday on these airwaves. So it is certainly subjective as to what you believe and what you don't believe. And he's going to play both. We know that Mason Smith, still out. Jalen McLeod, lower body out. Caleb Ranshaw's out. Buster Brown is out and Cole Van Lannon. So there you go. That's, we're starting to, I haven't done it on air yet. I don't even know if I will. But I've read, I read everything that is written by our esteemed colleagues here throughout Duval covering the Jaguars. And there are some who have done their 53-man projections. I think there's a couple of candidates for the IR. I think when you look at Armstead and you look at Smith and you look at Cole Van Lannon and you look at Buster Brown, those are 4 possibilities. Hopefully, especially with Van Lannon, hopefully Brown, Armstead, and Smith are close. In my opinion, I would say Mason Smith is the closest, and even though he is officially on the pup. But you got to worry about rookies. I mean, that's a way to save roster spots, right? Jalen McLeod, I don't think he's really going to figure in this year. All right, well, you can, disguise your way around a roster spot by putting Jalen McLeod on the IR. You can give yourself another roster spot by putting Caleb Ransaw on the IR. Those two don't figure in right now. You don't want to risk losing them. You don't want to cut them, put them on the practice squad. They certainly don't cost much at all. So, you can bury them. And every team does it, So it's just a way to look at it. But, that's going to be intriguing when it's all said and done, when James Gladstone and, Liam Cohen set their 53-man roster.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
It'd be kind of nice to be placed on the IR here and still get paid and just miss some time.
Yeah, it would. And, along those lines, I was talking with Dave Campo and some other guys out there about, similar things. We're getting to the point where you start thinking about the 53. And here's one for you. Again, the 6th wide receiver probably is not going to matter all that much, but humor me. Eli Pankel and Trenton Irwin, right? If we assume that Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, and Josh Cephas are your top 5, do you keep 6? Well, I would keep Pankel on the 53 because I think somebody might be more prone to go grab him off the practice squad because of his age and his special teams. Whereas I think you could put Irwin on the practice squad, 29 years old, right? I don't know if anybody would want to grab him and put him on their 53. And if a receiver goes down, then you just have Trent Irwin in reserve to come up to your 53-man roster.
It's a fair point because it almost feels like if Trenton Irwin is going to be on your team, he's going to be on your active roster. It's probably going to be your number 4 wide receiver.
Right. I get the sense that Pankel would be a much stronger candidate for another team to come grab off your practice squad than Irwin, who is 6 or 7 years older than him.
Yeah, and Irwin you can keep on there, and if someone gets hurt, then he's a guy you can plug in and can play wide receiver. That's why I would say number 4, because your 5 and 6 are going to be special teams guys.
Right.
He's not a special teams guy.
No, he's not. Trammell isn't really either. Trammell's a return guy, but he's not going to do anything on coverage. So those are the decisions you got to start thinking about. I'll give you another one. Daniel Thomas has been kind of a fixture here, and he got a new contract with the old regime. With the way Rayon Lane played, the 6th-round pick, who's their guy, their being Gladstone and Cohen's guy, he's their draft pick. I don't know if Lane and Thomas both make the roster. I wonder if Daniel Thomas might be in a little bit of trouble.
And he costs 4 times as much.
Yeah.
He's making $2.2 million. He was not a gunner the other night, and that's the whole kickoff thing is so disappointing. You can really only track gunners nowadays on your punts because the kicking game has been ripped apart. But he was not your starting gunner in that one of your 2 gunners this past Saturday night against who was that? The Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, Tyler Lacey is my Jaguar training camp one-on-one. Talk about a guy that's gotten a lot of reps in the absence of Mason Smith and Eric Armstead. So we'll talk with the 3rd-year defensive lineman out of Oklahoma State. That comes up in about 20 minutes. Also, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 embarking on a new venture with Channel 4. Channel 4 and 1010XL always, we both do terrific high school coverage on Friday nights. We're going to combine forces this year beginning next Friday and I'll tell you all about that, but very excited for this partnership with Channel 4. I also have Ryan Fowler joining me, NFL draft analyst, NFL analyst, to talk about the young Jaguars like Bashel Tootin, Laquentin Allen, who I know you talked to earlier, Monheim, and Milam. I thought a lot of the rookies played really well last Saturday. We'll talk to Ryan Fowler about all of it.
Monheim got like the greatest PFF ranking ever.
He did. He 41 snaps, didn't allow a pressure. I know the Jaguars were, how can I say this, ecstatic that he was there in round 7. And they made no bones about how excited they were that he was there in round 7. And maybe they found themselves a steal in round 7.
And maybe 2 of them with Allen Jr. They're happy with both of them. All right, have a fun show. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker. He's coming up right now. That's going to do it. Thank you to Gerald Ingram. Thank you to Now Lawrence Sample. And thank you to Laquentin Allen Jr. I appreciate all you getting a hold of us, whether it was on the text line tonight, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I don't check that now that the show is over, as well as on YouTube, 1010XL into the night. But we'll be back tomorrow. Looking forward to it on a Wednesday. That's going to do it. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. Hackers up next. Again, we'll talk Wednesday at 6.